Yes, yes, yes. It is the Castworthy podcast, and we are back. I am Big Steve, aka Last of a Dying Breed, on the Twitter machine, joined by one EJ, the Savage. It's Friday evening, libations in effect. You glowing like you went to the fucking barber today.
Nah,
Skin looks good. You was out in the sun.
that's a days old shape up, brother. In house shape up.
Looking like a red Indian. Got the red Indian skin going right now.
Just chilling, man. Took the kids out, for a little bit tonight.
What you do today?
I took him to the arcade. Me and the bro got up with his kid and his nephew. Took them out and took them out to eat.
Did you
You know,
work
j-
today?
yeah, yeah. I almost did not. I wa-
Surprise.
woke up, was like, fuck this. I'm going back to bed. And I
It's
said, you know what?
Friday.
I'm gonna get in the car and I'm gonna drive today. And the commute wasn't too bad. I got there in an hour. I lasted the whole day. I was like, I'm gonna go and just leave early. Nah, I made it the whole day.
Oh, it's
So
because you normally take the train, right?
yeah, yeah. But the train's been having so many complications because DC government decides to work on one of the major commute lines up until September, and they got shuttle buses, but it's just like, yeah, it's just inconvenient all the way around. So, and then the other day, it was just a delay, like a 30-minute delay. So it was just like, man, I'm gonna just drive.
You be it'd be a bunch of weirdos on there and shit.
Not so much. The
Of
train
course,
isn't,
not
uh,
like the subway, but you know.
oh well, the DC Metro subway, yes. Everybody smoking like super weed and all these kids in DC, man. Damn near every kid in DC got a pistol on them these days, man. So,
Is it
you know,
legal up there now?
no.
Not the guns, the smoking.
I think so. I think
Okay.
so. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Not that it would have mattered, but
I know it's a Northeast thing, man. It's a tri-state. Um, it's episode 154 of the Castworthy podcast. Where you can find us on Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just search for Castworthy. Castworthy. Instagram specifically, it's Castworthy underscore podcast. Like, comment, dislike, shit. Tell us what you want to talk about. Make an appointment. Come join us. Chit chat. If you got if
make
you
an
got
appointment.
voluptuous curves and you over 42, EJ probably fuck with you.
Wow. Wow. You gotta stop trying to live vicariously through me, man. You gotta stop. One of these
Un-
days you're gonna stop.
Under 42, don't even bother.
Crazy.
Yeah, man. What's poppin', man? What's going on? Did you see? Let's jump into some interesting shit. Did you see? Gilly and Ross are kind of going at it.
Yeah, I saw Gilly going hard, talking crazy about Ross, man. And Gilly is a dude, he's been around, you know what I'm saying? He's been around the game, been ghostwriting, doing his thing. I was kind of surprised that it went that way. But obviously he felt pretty strongly. Wallow was just sitting there like, hey, okay, like you cuz I'm gonna stand behind you, but all right, you know.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, he took some serious offense to Ross. So, for those who don't know, it was alleged that earlier this year Ross commented on a picture on Instagram or a post on Instagram, basically saying Gilly's dodging Wayne. He's scared of him and shit. Everybody that knows Gilly and Wayne, the history, Gilly wrote for Wayne. If you don't know, you're crazy. You can hear it all in this style. Um, Ross said he was scared. Gilly kind of got a little a little crazy with him. He's like, listen, man, you a cornball, man. You do whack shit. You be raping bitches, based on his little line that said put a Molly in her drink, she ain't even know it.
Right.
The line of the year for me, 2022 line of the year is money don't unlame a lame. And that's what Gilly said, man. Gilly said Ross, you're cornball. And if you see Ross's Instagram, I get it. He trying to be like Khaled. He trying to get a probably a reality show or get a podcast popping or something wild. So he just doing stupid shit. But yeah, he's doing corny shit, man. Ross came back and was like, I spend more on my cow's hooves than you do on your girl. Nigga Gilly was like, cause I don't pay for her. I don't buy her. You know. So
He definitely he went back to the CO comment, which I always found to be interesting. That whole element. This dude was talking about. I mean, we both been fans of Ross, and this has been something that's been in discussion probably for a good. Because Ross came out '06, so that's about 16. Going on 16 years ago ish, and or 15, 16, whatever. Um, and I remember when him and 50 were beefing, and the whole CO thing came about, and it was kind of crazy because the drug lyrics and all of that kind of stuff, and it was just like he was a correctional officer, which is phenomenal profession, but you can't be talking like you Pablo Escobar, and all of that. People was just making up so many different things, like he's trafficking through the drugs, I mean through the jails, and so we watched this guy Rick Ross kind of reinvent himself after that drama, and him and 50 still don't bang with each other. So I'm kind of surprised 50 hasn't jumped on his train yet, because he trolls everybody and everything. But yeah, man, Gilly was pissed, and he's rightfully so. For Ross to come at him like that with the career Gilly's had writing for Wayne and doing other things, man. This is a guy who really values his craft and his pen. So you can't be coming at him like that.
yeah, I mean, Ross. We respect Ross music, man. Like Ross is a lyricist. Ross makes great music. But making good music and having money, don't make you a cool ass dude. It don't it don't wash the whackness off you. It don't wash the cornball off you just because you got a couple dollars, and a stylist. It don't, you know. But yeah, man.
And growing back the hair was always I was always like, what was that about?
Who Ross?
Yeah, when he grew his hair back and got the little fade, and like you don't even look right, bro. Just go back to the bald head. Like you
Yeah,
trying to be something you're not. And it looked like implants.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. Oh well, that's the shit, man. That's the shit. Um, yeah, man. I mean, listen, I get it. Ross is old. It's just like Gilly said. Ross is an old head. He's trying to find, basically trying to reignite the flame. And it's hard to keep up with today's rap, man. And when you a lyricist like Ross, you a lyricist like Lloyd Banks. Shout out to Lloyd Banks. His album actually came out today. But when you a lyrical miracle guy like that, like it ain't about bars no more. Like nobody's paying attention to bars now. I think Banks said it on Joe Budden's podcast. He was like, "Yo, nobody like when dudes are spitting and they writing, they not trying to screw nobody's face up no more. They don't want people to be like, yo, you heard what he said, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, did you hear that punchline? It ain't like that. And I didn't think of it like that until he said it. I'm like, yo, he got a point, yo. Like there's a handful of cats out there. You got like, Conway, the underground guys, the Griselda guys, they that's what they about. J. Cole. But for the most part, like what's popping today was mainstream. Um it's all about beats and hooks and
it's a vibe.
yeah.
It's all about a vibe now, and the party atmosphere, and is everything just flowing. But there is still room for the spitters. There is still room for the lyricists. Shit. I mean, Jada continues to put out quality stuff in everything that he does. and it's a lane for it. I mean, the other thing, Ross didn't start out being a lyrical guy. You know what I'm saying? He had just what the vibe is today, actually, and then he progressed into that lyrical mode. I think it's still a lane for those guys, but going back to the whole Ross situation, I just don't understand what would provoke him to go at Gilly about Wayne in that situation. Like, that, like, the one of the main reasons that we both always say Wayne can never be hailed as best rapper of any era, any time. Your most memorable stuff wasn't your pen.
Yeah,
Like your writing credits always got two other people with it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man, but I definitely think with Gilly's platform and just just how he goes, this is gonna be interesting to see. Um, yeah,
yeah. Gilly don't he don't give a fuck,
he
and
got no chip.
yeah, and when you up against that, um, and you the type of person who don't like public scrutiny and don't like being embarrassed, which is Ross. You know what I'm saying? The same shit with Jeezy and Ross don't like being embarrassed. He been trying to embarrass himself lately, trying to get clout chasing and shit on the internet, but he don't like that public shit, and that's why for him and 50, that's why they was beefing. Um, but yeah, I mean, you gotta respect Gilly. You know what he's about. You know what he did. And he's you know a name out in Philly. Philly. It's a spot. It's a spot. It's not
Oh,
like
but of course,
yeah, it's not like Arkansas. You know what I'm saying? Like Philly is hailed for some of the dopest rappers, the best rappers to come out of or in hip hop. Have come out of Philly. When you talk about
outside of
the
New York and New Jersey,
yeah, when you talk about Beans, you talk about shit
Black Thought,
Meek, yeah, Black Thought, like
Schoolie D. I mean,
yeah, it's a lot of
Will
Philly
Smith.
heads out there. Will, yeah, you got to respect Will. You got to respect
Yeah,
Will.
I'm sure we
So,
missing some people. The whole state props, all them guys, Sparks. I mean,
mhm.
yeah, I mean,
Petey.
yeah, I mean,
Ooh.
third to New Jersey. Following New Jersey, I would say an influence of East Coast hip hop is Philly. You know,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
maybe you
Tri-state,
could argue
tri-state.
Boston, maybe.
And Virginia. Virginia's got, the clips came out of there. But really, they got more producers. Like they got Pharrell, they got
Timbo.
Timbo. Like they got two of probably the best producers of all time came out of VA. But yeah,
But I
yeah. I
mean,
mean,
when you talk about Philly, though, you talking about
grimy,
it,
gritty.
and then when you talking about just music in New York and your runs, right? Like there's cities, and we talking about the Northeaster before we get to the South, but there's cities just on your list that you gotta hit.
Hmm.
You gotta go to Connecticut. You gotta go to and not just the states. Okay, let's say the states. You gotta go to Connecticut, Bridgeport, Hartford, New Haven. Then you gotta go to Jersey. You gotta go to Baltimore. You gotta go to DC. But Philly is one of those places where okay, we good. We popping in New York. We gotta go to Philly. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at the history of hip hop that is Philly, you know what I'm saying? You can't shit on what Gilly is to the game. Cassidy, another one we forgot.
Hmm.
And in this instance, you can't call your man Meek neither.
Right, right. And he brought that up. He was like, man, you need to pay me. You got him on a deal. That's a broken deal. Basically treating him like a slave. And for those who know, or might know a little bit about it, yeah. I mean, he put him on a pretty bad deal with Maybach Music, and
Mhm.
it's just listen, man. I get it. Read your contract, get a lawyer. Don't just trust anybody. If you're ignorant to it, it's gonna happen. It happens to the best of them. Happened to the locks, right? We saw that with Diddy.
Oof.
You're seeing it with Meek. Luckily for Meek, right? He's kind of been able to run that justice justice thing, criminal justice,
Just to reform.
yeah, justice reform thing, and he's got some dope friends, Robert Kraft
Robert
and the
Crafty.
guys.
Crafty.
So yeah, when you respected and hailed by them people, like it really don't too much matter what the what who you know in hip hop. You know, I mean, obviously he got Jay Z in his corner, so when you got big cats like that, and you got the the Watts, you know, they
What?
the Watts.
You
Um,
stupid.
yeah, man. But then yeah, so that was a thing. I saw that on the timeline today, and I thought it was that's a memorable quote for me. That'll be the quote of 2022 because I've said it for years upon years. Don't matter how much money you got. If you're a cornball, you're a cornball. It just is what it is.
You know what the word for 2022, the rest of 2022 for me is?
What's that?
Bogadas.
Bogatas. Jill.
Bogadas. Yeah. What the-
Jill. What was? But she said something else too. She messed something else up.
Oh,
I
she's
mean, beside
she's
the two,
telling his
behind the taco thing, but
yeah,
there
the
was a
top thing.
she said Bogatas, and there was another thing she said that was off. She was off, man. But, like it was just a
Yo,
bad
fam,
look.
how like I just want to know, right? Like when you see these jobs for White House analysts, White House, I mean, some of those jobs I don't think are posted to the public. I don't know, like when who is sitting there? Who wrote this? Yeah, somebody wrote this speech that is obviously familiar with the culture. And they was like, yeah, we got to talk about the bodegas. Who allowed her? Who didn't practice this with her? Who didn't? Like what's going on?
I mean, I listen, man.
And these are
When
people we trust with the finger on the trigger.
Nah, I think when you listen to it, what she was trying to do, like it got blown out of proportion. I think what she obviously not. I think we know what she was trying to do. She
Pander.
was trying to she was trying to pander, but she was trying to basically, you know, geographically throughout the United States, there's notable words and things to the Hispanic culture, and in New York, it's bodegas, right? In Texas, it's Tex-Mex and tacos. So when she said breakfast tacos, it was it was just bad timing. Like to your point, whoever wrote this speech probably didn't really think it through. But I get what she was saying. Like she was trying to say, like Texas, the Hispanics or the Latinos in Texas are known for Tex-Mex and known for breakfast tacos. So she was basically saying, it's just as important or just as hailed as the bodegas in New York, the tacos in Mexico, or I'm sorry, Texas. And then there was another one. I'm trying to check back right now. I'm trying to
But
find it.
even if the timing in the cultural aspect of it was wrong, who in the hell allowed her to just go out the door saying bogadas? Bo- bogadas?
The bodegas of the Bronx. I mean, I know my girl. I know my girl. Ocasio is like,
Yo,
she probably was.
sick. She is
She like,
sick.
come on.
She's like, yo, I'm tired of this shit.
Here she go. This is Jill.
Can't get those things on our own. Raul helped build this organization with the understanding that the diversity
Come
of
on,
this
Jill.
community, as distinct as the Bogadas of the Bronx, as beautiful as the blossoms of Miami, and as unique as the breakfast tacos here in San Antonio.
She tried to pay homage. That's all she was doing, man. She wasn't like she. I think it was obviously taken
The
out of.
bogadas of the Bronx.
Yeah, but you don't practice. Like you don't practice. Uh,
Yo, yo, when I seen that shit, I
or
was like,
you know what
what?
might have happened? Somebody might have spelled it wrong on the teleprompter. She
Nah,
a
bro.
teacher. She a
Nah, bro.
teacher. So
Nah,
she
bro.
they probably put the D and the G in the wrong spot. So she
That's
read it as
possible.
bogatas.
That might
You
be
know what I'm
possible.
saying?
You know what? You know what? Shout out to you. The first lady owes you. You know what?
I'm gonna
Shout out to
shoot
you.
bail. I'm gonna shoot bail to my girl Jillian. I know her as Jillian. We get down like that.
Yo,
Um,
that shit had me crying, son.
but what
Oh
about
god.
Yeah, it was wild, man. It was wild. What about what about your man Hunter though?
Whoa.
Your
Whoa.
your man Hunter, your man Hunter is living his best life. So Hunter Biden's phone was allegedly hacked, and he's got video of himself doing all types of drug stuff that
I
we
didn't
already.
see it, yo. I just saw Michael Rappaport going on a tangent.
Yeah, you gonna have to see it. It's probably better for you to see it before we talk about it. I'm gonna try and
Mm.
find it for you. Um, as we're looking for that, your man Ricky Martin.
Whoa.
Uh, Ricky Martin needs to get the same treatment as R. Kelly.
Whoa.
He's looking at 50 years.
That's
50
a pretty
years.
big allegation, though.
50 years for alleged
Messing with
sex,
his nephew.
sexual misconduct, incest with his nephew. So
But we don't know that any official charges have been brought up, though, right?
no, no, but they're not charged. He hasn't been charged, but it's been alleged. Um, it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out, man. There's gonna be a certain kind of energy that you're gonna have to keep.
Listen, I hope that
You could
I
still
hope
live La Vida Loca. Your
shit, yeah.
playlist is gonna get hurt.
Oh yeah, I definitely gonna have to remove it, Yo, okay. Before I get into that, right? I just the first video I look up for Hunter Biden, and it's sad because he has a problem, and I don't want to make it comical, but yo, what the hell? Like, bro, I don't even have to look at the video. I see the still.
Right.
Like, damn, man. Whoa, like, yo, I don't know that a first family has a first family ever been this publicly dysfunctional. And VP's not here to defend the Bidens, but or provide any context rather on other families. I mean, granted, they had the social media era, but sheesh. I mean, this is dysfunction, yo. Like Obama's that dude for now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course, of course. But the video has him weighing out uh about looks like about 2 grams of crack.
Of of rock.
Yeah, it's cooked up. It definitely looks like it's cooked up. With a crack pipe in his mouth. So
Wow.
your man's and here's the thing, right? Why would you record this shit, my dude? And
Where's the Secret Service?
where is
Where's it?
this?
Where's the internet people watching this stuff? Like
Well,
how
that's
is he not in rehab somewhere?
and so if they're smart enough, they could try and say this is an old video. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like if they were smart, they'd be like, yeah, this is old. It's just an old video. He just happened to have it in his iCloud. iCloud don't delete shit. Like if they're smart, that's what they should run with. Unless because there's nothing date or time stamped on there. But unless somebody popped up and was like, oh no, I was there that night. That was last week. They need to roll with they definitely need to roll with the. Nah, this is old. This is before the presidential first family stuff. But I mean, in the day, you still got to be sensitive to it. It's an addiction. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you got to be sensitive to it. And I have to assume, right? Like we know families like this. I think we've been pretty lucky and privy to not have it directly impact us at a family
Oh,
level.
yeah. I think you missing some stuff. uh, I think you missing some stuff, and my uncle. No, that's more. So yeah, that's
It's
more on
yeah,
my
there's
side from my grandma's side. But yeah,
yeah,
you,
I think there's some indirect impact, but like some direct impact. Um, just gotta be like I
oh, you
think
mean in the
people.
household that we grew up in?
Yeah, like people gotta be sensitive to it and understand that sometimes it's not easy, man, and sometimes it's harder on the family than it is on the than it is on the person. The person is trying, they're trying too to get through it, but And yeah, no, I mean it's direct. Like I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. And it's I've seen people that have really wanted to do better, and you could see at times when they're clean and everything is on track that they're up and they're happy, and they have some pride in the stuff that they're doing and the changes that they've made. And then you backslide. Sometimes it's easy, like you get stressed out and the first thing you think about is, damn, how do I kill this stress? How do I get rid of this mental pain? um you know I gotta get this fixed,
Yeah.
and you run back to it. So I'm sure the Biden family has done everything they can to try and keep this boy clean. But you got to think too, right? He lost his mom, he lost his brother. Like
Mhm.
there's a lot going on there. It's not like he just a crackhead roaming the streets just because. You know what I'm saying? He's had a traumatic life.
Yeah, Michael Rappaport was a little savage on him, man. Michael Rappaport. I mean, I don't know how this dude walks around the U.S. with no security detail because he says a lot of wild shit.
I
Um,
don't know how he keeps getting casted for fucking um like the directors don't be seeing the shit that he be saying. Like,
yo, he goes he goes hard, yo. He goes hard. It's insane, man. It's insane.
Manhunter is out there having a good time though. I tell you what, listen, shit. What's worse, the Hunter Biden tapes or the or and images or Andrew Gillum's story?
Ooh, I would say Andrew Gillum by far, because we know Hunter had an issue, but Gillum, before that, we thinking you're this married family guy, and here you are freaking off in a hotel, going hard,
Not
and I
only
mean,
that, he came somewhere between less than a couple thousand votes from being fucking the governor of Florida.
and you know something, that's the thing, like, damn, you were really, and that's the other thing about politicians, man, and the thing that I've always thought about is like, yo, I don't know how I could be a politician because I'm gonna be out here. I would be so old school. I'm that guy that's, yeah. Oh yeah, I was just drinking with our delegate. Yeah, you goddamn right. He was drunk. He had to get ticket. Yeah, you know what? Yep, I was. It's so hard. You gotta have a squeaky clean image. We got a governor's race coming up here in Maryland. We got the Democratic primary and early elections, and we got a guy, Wes Moore, who wrote a phenomenal book, best selling, book. Oprah's been on Oprah, from rags to riches kind of guy, military guy. Um, you know, just people love him. And, I've always, the few times I've met him, I kind of felt him to be introverted, but he's doing these campaign things. Apparently he's partly Jamaican or has Jamaican roots. So he's at festivals singing Jamaican songs, and he might be Jamaican, I don't know, but he's just doing these different things where you just seeing him in the community and doing all this stuff. And then he's got to paint this image is that he's just a perfect person, right? And so with politics, man, Gillum, this dude was almost the governor of Florida, but here he was, he had a whole lifestyle that kind of hit the fan recently, and it's like, damn, man, these people got to be perfect, but it's crazy, man. And hey,
You know, yeah, perfect is one thing, but I think it's like his shit was a little excessive. Like Andrew Gillum shit was excessive. My man was in. It's one thing to party. It's one thing to go out and have a drink. Like to what you said, you could be out drinking with people who provide campaign funding and stuff like that. Like
sure,
it is what it is. But you talking about being married, but and then being found locked up in a or not locked up, but knocked out in a hotel
Telly.
room with a male escort with yay,
Oh.
yay, dirty condoms, un, unmarked pill bottles. You know what I'm
Sheesh.
saying? Like
Yo,
that's a
my man
different type.
parties.
That's a different type of party, my G. And and you got to know, like, Listen, man, I'm sure he's probably been with this same escort for years, but you gotta know, like, I know it sounds bad, yo, but
No, it makes perfect sense.
but you gotta
Oh,
know, your audience. You gotta know who you can trust when you're in that area, in that kind of position. I mean, and we talk about
well, the
Hunter.
police
We
was
talk,
called there, wasn't there?
yeah,
Because
because
dude was unresponsive or something.
he almost died.
Die, yo.
But the leakage, I think the leakage came before. But then, I mean, and you talk about politicians and the wild shit, right? You got Tierra Mack, the senator from
Twerking senator.
the twerking senator
The
from Rhode
twerking
Island.
senator from Rhode Island.
And I don't have nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with her twerking. I
I
mean,
I
it
kind
was
of
a
do.
little excessive because she was doing a headstand in the sand on the
Yeah,
beach.
I kind of do.
Like it was an excessive twerkage. But listen, man, if we gonna crucify her, and we got senators walking around out here, catching mega cases and beating it. You got senators out here touching little boys and little girls and getting caught with child pornography and shit
Yeah,
like that.
but
And they're being
the standard for black people is always higher, right? And even within ourselves, because what do our little girls? We put this onus on the athletes all the time. What are our
yeah.
little boys gonna look up to? You know what I'm saying? Role model. Woo, woo, woo.
But she
Okay.
wasn't naked. Like I could see if she was, if she was naked or a sex tape came out or like, you know what I'm saying? Um,
She on a handstand though, bro.
what's what's worse, a little, and then this is probably harder for
Nope.
you
Don't say it.
probably because you got a daughter,
Don't say it.
or you got daughters. No. What I was gonna say is what's worse, little girls looking up to her as a as a role model, or little black boys looking up to Andrew Gillum. Like I'm okay. Like if like I'm good with a twerk versus you know
Well, Gillum didn't win anything though.
he didn't,
So
but
that's an ultimate difference. This is saying that, hey, this person is in the Senate office, and it's okay to get on your your head and twerk for all of America with your ass cheeks out, holding a political position.
I think she should have a
Like
contest with
like this is the person. This is the person that's going to be in the crowd in Rhode Island, speaking at schools.
somebody gonna smack that ass. They need to she and Michelle need to they need to have a contest because
Needed Michelle who?
Michelle who Michelle
Whoa,
Obama,
whoa, whoa,
there's only one.
whoa. See, Michelle, you never gonna catch Michelle doing that
No,
ever.
she's classy, but I
But
would like to.
that's yeah, that's who and Michelle, I think is just phenomenal, man. And again, when you compare and contrast, we got the black girl magic and all of that. Is that really what it's about?
No, it's not. I don't think while we're here, I don't think Michelle Obama gets the credit deserved at that level. The level of she gets credit for being smart, being a great first lady, having
Harvard Law
kids,
graduate,
Harvard Law, but having kids' health, at first hand, school lunch, trying to make it
food deserts.
healthier,
Yep.
right?
Hmm.
But I don't think she gets the credit that she deserves as a wife,
A woman.
a woman, a wife. And we live in this society now where people want to try and take away gender roles. But Barack Obama was the president of the United States. Michelle Obama had to hold down home. Historically, that's most men think that way. Like if I'm getting a wife, I need a woman that's going to be able to hold down home. And while I'm out and I'm away, they're going to hold it down. Like they're going to hold the kids down. They're going to be the support system when I'm not around. And I don't think Michelle Obama gets the respect and the credit that she deserves in that area. She gets tons of credit everywhere else. But I think because as a society, we're so removed from women being homemakers and making home, which is, I guess is being a homemaker. um, she making home whole, right? We're so removed from that, and it's disrespectful to say, the woman is the homemaker or the wife is taking care of the kids and making, making things right at home. Like it's disrespect these days, and it's unfortunate, but I give her credit. I give her tons of credit.
Well, I think because the society, we and we often only speak for black families, brown families that we can relate to, right? I think for us in adopting the societal ways of things, the woman's role of being a home maker, quote unquote. I'm not saying a stay at home mom, but someone who, builds a home, is the superwoman that works and cleans and cooks. You see a lot more scenarios where that's less of the case because the equitable roles of things. Hey, I'm working too. You got to do this, or you got women that are more on the road than the men, that work more than the men. You have the single home dynamics and things of that nature. So there's so many different things, and I personally do not know a lot of women of my time in my circle that fulfill that role or desire to fulfill that role, and it's okay, and I understand it. And I mean, obviously, as the first lady and as millionaires, they had people to do that, but the rearing of the children, and just the example that she sets, that you could just see from the children and how they model their mom thus far, so far. They're still young, of course, and still time to do bullshit, but from what we can see and how they dress and how they walk and the confidence, they get it from their mom, and their dad is pretty cool too. But we know from their union, and just from what he said, she is the rock. She is the spark. She's the reason that many people like myself voted for Obama. And I mean, Michelle Obama is arguably one of the most phenomenal, if not the most phenomenal and polarizing female of our lifetime in the public world, probably second or in competition with Marilyn Monroe. Not saying that they're equal, but polarizing to the public. But
Hmm.
she's just something, man, really special. And the thing that I find ill about her is she never forgets where she comes from.
Right.
She talks about the Chicago roots. uh she's just down to earth seemingly, and it's just crazy how so many people are striving to be something, right, that they're not, or something that they want to be, and they lose themselves. Here this woman is, she's the second most powerful woman in the world at one point, and probably the most educated, most beautiful, most smart, most determined, most just everything, and she's still herself.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I
shout
mean,
out to Michelle Obama.
yeah. You think about it. You compare her to Hillary
Compare her to Jill.
or Jill. I mean, listen. I, I don't. I don't want to. At least she knows how to say bodega, but Jill,
Boga.
Bogota Jill. But
This shit sounds like a coastal Mexican city.
it you stupid. This definitely Costa Rica. Get it right. She nah,
Going to
but
Boga Raton.
I I give it to. I mean, listen, I give it to Jill. She always there. She's always
Oh
there.
god.
She's on Front Street. She's there by Joe's side, rightfully so. But yeah, Michelle deserves all the credit. It's unfortunate she gets slandered left and right. It's tough being a black woman as it is. And that's the type of person that you would want your daughters or anyone who has a daughter
To
to look
model
up
after.
to.
And,
And
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 so let me ask you this, right? And we look at Michelle, and we know how she was raised. She was raised in Chicago, um, not in the worst of circumstances, but not rich. Core family values. Lost her father, while in the later, not later part of her life, but right before her and Barack got together, right? She had those core family values of womanhood and just being self-respecting. When we're talking about this twerking senator, have we as a society gone so why as a black society and brown society have we gone so far away from our roots that made us, that our people survived on, and that made us who we are today? Why do we believe we're so much bigger than our ancestors and our pre-generations, that we think that twerking, let alone on camera, people do it. We know that. We love it. We watch it all the time. But we know that isn't what we were raised to do, right? And then you're a senator in a public position. Why do we? And again, not bashing her. I enjoyed it. I watched it. I ran it back. It's cool. Why, as a people, do we believe that this is what we have to do to be so far away from our parents?
Because we can, and we have access to it. And when I say we, I mean as a people. I don't mean we as in me and you. Um, I think we have this thought and this culture of, when you look at the comparison of black people and the behaviors to white people, and people are like, well, if they can do it, we should be able to do it, and we shouldn't be judged, right? And I agree 100%, but the problem is we are going to be judged. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be blown out of proportion. You're going to get a senator who's just having a great time at the beach with their family, shaking their ass, is going to be completely judged more than a senator who says that, kids have, should be locked away. It's okay for kids to be locked away in cages because they're Mexican. You know what I mean? And a what's her name? Damn it,
Marjorie?
Lauren.
No,
Yeah, well, yeah, her, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Lauren Boebert, is that her name?
Bobert.
Bo Bogert.
Bobert. I forget. I'm drinking.
But yeah, like, they don't, they get crucified by us. They get crucified by people who pay attention to politics, but
Hmm.
their people are not like, oh my god, how could we support her? You know what I mean? We do that. And that makes me that makes me bring up a question for you, right? And I think a big problem that I have right now, and I'm starting to question it, is this cancel culture, right? And
We've been questioning that.
we've been questioning it, but now my question for cancel culture, or about cancel culture generally now, is who's behind it, right?
Mm.
So when I say who's behind it, I don't mean, who started it. I mean, like, when the accounts pop up, when these fake accounts pop
Are
up.
you getting a little conspiracy theorist here?
I'm just saying, no, well, what I'm saying is that these accounts that pop up, they have avatar. They don't have a picture of a person, and these are the people with tons and tons of followers, or they're on every single post from the Shade Room, or posts from Hollywood Unlocked, or any of those posts. And when things are on Twitter trending, they're the ones saying, "Oh shit, so and so is invited to the cookout," or, "Oh shit, how could they be doing this as a black person?" And XYZ, cancel culture, time to cancel them because they said XYZ. And you don't know who's behind. You don't even know who's behind that account. It could be some nerdy white kid from Ohio State sitting behind that account, playing the role of, you know, the black person that is warranted, and who decides who's available to go to the cookout. You know what I mean? And there's hundreds and thousands of accounts like that. And the question is, who's behind them? And are these people outside? And do these people live the life that we live? Do these people understand what's going on? Are these people that are sitting in Idaho? Are these people sitting in, Wisconsin somewhere, that just have never been to the inner city? I was having a conversation the other night. I was with Mark and E, and I was just telling them some of the stuff that, that I went through. We were just reminiscing, and some of the stuff I went through growing up and shit. And my I understand my experience is completely different than Mark's. Like, Mark was like, "Yo, I would have never known what a nickel bag or a dime bag looked like until I was until I was an adult." The sheer fact that we were talking about it, and I was like, "Yeah, that's." It was
Did you elaborate why you knew?
I, maybe. Um, but when I talked about breaking down and measuring and how many grams are in an ounce and stuff like that, just I was telling him a story how that came up, and he's like, I wouldn't have known that. Like if I was in that situation, somebody asked me or somebody challenged me, I wouldn't have known how many grams was in an ounce. There's no way I could have, or how many ounces are in a quarter pound or a pound or whatever, what have you. At that age, he was like, as an adult, and this is another black man, right? Another black man listens to hip hop music, is in our circle, you know. Um, just he just wasn't exposed to it, and I'm wondering if these people behind these, these accounts, are people that are not exposed to that life. They don't know what that life is like. So when they see
Well,
people doing stuff, they're
I would
just
say
passing judgment.
those accounts that you speak of are more politically driven. Maybe shell companies, companies of political agenda, that kind of stuff. But when you're talking about the ideology, the idea or the logic behind it, because I'm screwing up my words. Um, and having that disconnect. I mean, yeah, and I had that conversation with people, right? We both were born in the Bronx, didn't spend our adult lives or young teenage lives there. You went to Bridgeport, we moved to Queens and then Nassau County. Um, and I talked to people, from there still that were raised there later on. And like I tell people, like New York is
It's
it's a
different.
different wave. Like
Yo, that
you could
shit
be
different.
you could be from the Bronx, right? But have a mother as a doctor, a father as a lawyer, and never been exposed to anything in the street. Like you know about it, but you ain't been in it. Like I told you, the progression of Nassau County and Hempstead. I mean, you can even listen to Prodigy's book and talking about the shit that was going on and the things that are out there. And my mother is moving us from the Bronx, moving us out there, thinking shit is sweet, right? You could be exposed to so many things and still have no clue if it doesn't come across you. And it's like I hear people say all the time, black people need to have access to wealth. Well, what is access to wealth gonna do if you don't know how you're gonna basically get your daily living and necessities going? If you've been taught that, like Michelle Obama's initiative, if you've been taught going to the corner store is grocery shopping for the week,
Right.
how do you overcome
Or the
these things?
CVS or the Walgreens. You know what I'm
No, you're not
saying?
even
Like
getting that. You're not even getting that sometimes. You know what I'm
the
saying?
Bogota. You gotta
The
go to the
boat, you go
Bogota.
to the boat to chill. I can't come back from that. And so you raise a point that I think is separate from the accounts, but it's how far are we out of touch? And I for one can't cancel anybody. I know from the things that have happened in my life that I've done, and so cancel culture. There are some things that people need to be canceled from, obviously, in R. Kelly, definitely. But we known this for years, right? We just decided to act right now. But
Listen,
yeah, I mean,
listen. Y'all
some things
niggas
need to
choose
be
to
canceled.
y'all choose to cancel R. Kelly if you want, man. I cancel R. Kelly as a person. I'm not canceling his catalog. The
But
music is too good, man.
I mean, we knew for years though what he was doing.
Right.
So
We didn't know to the extent,
oh shit,
but
we did. When
we
the
didn't.
video came out, we knew.
He was eating butthole, but like
We
when
knew
you
he
talk
peed
about,
on the girl. She was like 15. You could tell.
yeah, but it's like we said with Ray Rice, right? And I guess it's a little different because you did see that, but you saw, and you that was one.
But I
When you
always said
hear
Ray
when you
Rice
hear
didn't get
about
punished for the
30s,
video. Ray Rice didn't
no,
get
you're
punished for
right.
the video. He
He
got punished because he got around the NFL and they fucked
the
up.
Shield, yeah, he
And
had
so
to,
they were pissed
yeah,
that he beat them. And so they had
but
to get him back.
yeah, I mean, listen, R. Kelly is absolutely punished. He's gonna do 30, if that. I think he might commit suicide, or
Sheesh.
I don't want him to.
Sheesh.
Listen, he's going from
That's a
living.
bold, that's beyond
Think
bold
about,
prediction. Jesus.
dog. Think well. First of all, they got him on suicide watch, but you think about the life that this man has gone from living, and even if you go back to his young days, he's
Right.
he's mentally fucked up. you know. And then when you watch, through the trial or even before the trial, when he went on, like when he was talking to Gail King, you could see the pain in his eyes. You could see the hurt in his face, not because and not because he knew he did wrong, but because his life was changing. It was done as he knew it. The access to whatever you had, whatever you wanted in this world. Like remember the I want a cookie. I want a cookie. Like, you know what I'm saying? He thought he could sing himself into a fucking cookie, my nigga. Like this, you know, and that's but that's just because that's what he was exposed to for all those years, you know.
Well,
And now you're gonna tell this man, listen, you ain't never gonna see the light of day again, because he's doing 30, and that's just on that set of
oh, he's
charges.
done. He's
He
done,
still
though.
got other charges he gotta go
State.
see. And once he gets those charges tacked on, he ain't never seeing the light of day. And if he does, he gonna be 80, 90 years old. So think about, from an R. Kelly standpoint,
Oh
going
yeah,
from having
that's.
everything in the world, and not only that, the type of crime that he has, he's either gonna be in a box, or he's gonna get beat the fuck
He's
up
a target.
every
He's a
day.
target.
You know what I'm saying?
He's a
Because
target.
dude's in jail, not gonna let that ride. He's gonna get beat up. Unfortunately, he's gonna get you know, he gonna get raped.
What are they
Um,
likely gonna have him segregated at a low
and that's what I mean.
security,
So
and
you put him in
he's gonna be
seg, he gonna
fine.
be in a
He's gonna be
box.
all right. He's gonna be all right at the feds. He's gonna be all right at the compounds. Well, I don't know that he even really go to a true compound with his charges and everything like that. But to your point, having the world ripped from your arms as you know it, this guy has made millions. He's influenced lives. He's had experiences that no one could ever imagine. Going from hundreds of thousands of people that you see across the world singing your
Loving
music,
you.
loving you, to now your life is in shambles. And not only that, he believes and maintains some innocence. It's and hey, in some instances, these parents that were pimping their children are just as guilty.
They need to be held accountable too. That doesn't make
Sheesh.
him any righter. But my thing is, I say to people all the time, like, I can't go to jail. I like to be able to get up and go get a glass of water in the middle of the night. I like to be able to, if I wake up and I want to go fucking grab a snack or some shit. I want that. I want that freedom, my nigga. And it seems simple, but you just don't, like, you don't, people take it for granted because that's what you got until your freedom is taken from you. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm thinking it like that, and I ain't near no R. Kelly, not in money, not in stature, you know, ethically, 100 times past him, but uh, you know, but
Morally and ethically.
yeah, morally, but for me to be like, yo, I can't go to jail because I can't give up this little bit of life that I got to being able to get up and go grab a snack from the fridge. This man has traveled the globe. He has
Private
slept
chefs,
slept with,
mansions.
aside from the people that he slept with that were illegal, the legals that he slept with, probably the most beautiful of women, you know, women throwing themselves at him, adult women. Let's get that clear. You know, private chefs, the best food, massages, car
Cars.
services,
Was it for the
cars,
money, cars, and
homes. Yeah, like,
all things I got?
to
I
this, right?
wonder.
So,
Sheesh.
but I still love R. Kelly music, man, and
It's tough.
he's a sick
I
individual,
feel
man.
cheated.
But
I feel cheated as a fan.
I
I
just
feel
don't think
cheated
I don't think it's
because with
fair.
the emergence of verses, I feel cheated as a fan. I feel cheated as a person. I feel cheated as a black man. That
Who would he go against? Usher. That's the closest. I'm over the Usher Chris Brown thing. Usher's smoking Chris Brown. Usher's smoke, and I love Chris Brown. Like,
yeah,
no
I told you
homo.
that.
I
I told
love
you
Chris
that.
Brown.
I told you that. You didn't
But
want to listen to me. I told you that.
you're right. But as I think about it, as I thought about it, I went back to Usher's stuff and I start thinking, like, listen, if you talk about 20 tracks,
Okay, our transition game right now is nasty.
you talk about I mean, it's still. I mean,
It's still
Chris is
relevant.
Chris is bad too. Listen, Chris is bad motherfucker too. But when you talk about 20 tracks, if Usher goes first, Chris got 20 tracks he can counter with, and he can
Chris
get 10.
got
I'm sorry,
see
10. He
see the
got
thing
10 he
right.
can get
The
with.
thing
So,
about verses, like we always say, you gonna have your generation, dog. You got your Chris Brown undying fans that are younger than us. But when you talking about that generation that verses was made for, which is you and I, that you going back to the 90s. She likes it my way. What are you gonna do when that
listen,
shit come on?
what are you gonna do when Usher say, the hardest thing I ever have to do is
Nigga.
telling the woman that I love that I'm having a baby? But like my nigga, how we let
He ain't
Usher
even
get
gotta play the song.
how we let him right? How we let Usher get that off, yo? How the world let Usher get that off?
R&B dudes, I always tell y'all, R&B dudes can get away with anything long as they sing it. They've said and done the foulest shit on wax and
Oh
get away
yeah.
with it every time.
Who
Every time.
gets who gets R. Kelly? Who would you put up? Who would you put against him? MJ,
Nah, you gotta save MJ for Prince.
Prince, yeah.
I really have no one. I can't even say a Bobby Brown.
No.
I can't even say a Luther.
Well, Bobby already went. Um,
Bobby Brown?
yeah, he went with Keith Sweat.
Oh, I missed that one. Who the fuck was I? But
Somewhere in something 47 or older.
I'm actually
In a
at
minivan or
38
something.
right now. Thank you very much. But R. Kelly, man. Not even a Timberlake. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, Timberlake.
I don't know. I think he's one of those guys that just has to have a concert that he headlines. Honestly, because there's I mean, you talking about the joints that he produced, wrote again, produced again, his joints. I mean, he's got too many hits, man.
Usher. And even still, I think he
I don't
smokes
think
Usher
he
boots.
smokes Usher by
He still
15 to
smokes
5.
Usher boots. But I think R. Kelly, you know what you got to do with R. Kelly? You got to put R. Kelly up against like a team of niggas. Like,
Nah,
and it got to be like, you got to put R. Kelly up against a producer, a singer, like,
no,
because,
it just it's done. And again, going back to it, man, which we've been cheated as fans, as people, as our morality.
it's
We've
a
been
shame,
cheated,
man.
man. We've been cheated. But the dude needed help, and that was the real thing. All those years,
Still
people,
needs help.
yeah, enabling him and that behavior. The dude was molested at a young age. The dude needed help, and I mean that's a part of our
And
black culture that we
that's
need to really
something,
address.
yeah, and that's something that we disregard far too much. Like the fact that, listen, I want everyone to understand that we're not shooting no bail to R. Kelly at all,
No.
whatsoever. Nothing that we're saying are justifying it. But if a little girl is taken advantage of and they turn out being wild and crazy when as they get older, of course it's a whole different story because they're not sleeping with little boys. But
That happens.
people be like, oh, but she had a rough. She was molested by her uncle and blah blah blah. But a little boy, oh, he
Comes up to be a
smashed.
man.
Yeah, he smashed his babysitter. His babysitter touched him or whatever, or they bamboozled him into doing something that he just didn't know any better. 8, 9, 10 years old. R. Kelly, um, was that age, and
Hmm.
and and it's swept under the rug. Again, it doesn't justify what he did. It doesn't justify his character, anything that he did. But it's important to understand that if you can't see that, if you can't have some sort of sensitivity towards that situation, that's the double standard that we live in America. And we have to do better with that because there's little boys that are gonna grow into men that are going through this. And when everyone talks about mental health, it seems like people do it for the narrative, and everything isn't created equally when it comes to mental health. and it needs to be.
No, you're absolutely right, and I think it's because it's hard, because most people that feel personally attached to this have experienced it. So we have to be sensitive to that nature and their feelings. But you're absolutely right. Until we understand that we have to value little boys, little girls, little men, little women, old women, adult men, adult women in this community. We have to value each other the same. And until we do that, we're going to continue a repetitive cycle that never ends. And
Toxicity.
yeah, it's and that's R. Kelly. That is precisely R. Kelly. And again, he had an opportunity in his life to be something different, but he fell victim to the demons, and the things that was laid out in front of him. We see this all the time. We talk about it all the time. We joke about it because we're sick, but we joke about the teachers that sleep with the young boys, and we might be like, oh well, where were they when we were growing up? We were joking about it, but
I
in
still
some
say that.
essence, this is exactly what we're talking about. You
No, you're
know,
right.
so
Listen, I say that, but I have a son. You know what I'm saying? Like, and as much as I say that and joke like that, and I've seen some of the teachers at the schools. Let's not get it twisted. Like, I granted he's only 4, but some of them teachers in 10 years when he's 14, they probably still gonna be all right, and I'm not gonna be all right with that. So
right,
it
but
sounds
that's a
good while
real
we
thing,
joking and fucking off, but
and we see a lot of those female teachers. Some of them get jail time. A lot of them don't.
oh yeah, a lot of them get off. A lot of them get off. Pause. Literally.
Uh-huh.
Um, but
Damn, we went a wild ways around the mulberry bush tonight. Sheesh.
it's yeah, man. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. I think but yeah, back to R. Kelly getting his flowers. Um, you
Well,
got
we
for
weren't talking
his
about getting those
catalog.
flowers.
I'm sorry for
We
his
weren't talking
catalog.
about that either.
I was. I give him
Mm,
his listen, man. R. Kelly got the best one of the best catalogs ever. If not, it's definitely top 5
true,
by far.
but ain't nothing
By
we can do
far,
about it.
you know. And there's nothing you can do about it. And he don't own that shit no more. So he not getting no proceeds off of it. So I'm listening to it. Sorry.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Sorry. 12 play? 12 play? 12 play was one of the first CDs I ever owned.
12 play R. Kelly self-titled album. Shit. TP2,
Right.
Chocolate Factory. I mean, yeah. Anyway, moving along. What else you got?
Um yeah,
Is
yeah,
it
yeah,
too
yeah.
too early going to sports?
No, I don't think it's too early to go. Well, let me ask you, have you had a chance to go see Thor this week or no?
Probably gonna go see it tomorrow. Um,
Okay.
I wasn't excited to see it. And like I told y'all, and like I said, I've been saying it's been on record. I'm not excited for the span of Marvel stuff going on right now. I'm not.
I finally watched the joint with Chris Pratt um on
Terminal
Amazon.
list.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was all right. I thought it was all right. This nigga Vari is full of shit.
What do you say?
Let me save that here. 1 minute or 1 hour, 3 minutes in, so I can record it and send it to him. Vari
Hmm.
is full of shit.
Um,
He said he's seen that coming all along, how it ended.
nah, I said that.
Oh, you said that? Well, you're
Yeah, I
full of
believe I said
shit
that.
then.
I did.
There's
I
no way you
did.
saw that.
I'm not gonna say that. No, I mean
There's no way, dog.
now
There, you might have seen it at a
the
point. There might have been a
yeah,
point in there
the
where,
cause of, but okay, here's the thing. Even the thing that they were talking about, like the tumor part, and I mean, spoiler alert for people that didn't see it. I didn't see that piece, but obviously it was a cover up. You know what I'm saying? The way they got done dirty and how it all went down. I mean, I saw that coming, and I mean, honestly,
no,
even
I
though it
saw
was,
that too, but I'm talking about the last part, that it was his boy, that his man's was
oh,
involved.
now I saw that later on as it went
Right. It
along.
took him. It took
I didn't, but
like,
that,
and
but
here's
but
my thing. I didn't see that at all. I didn't see it until we got there. Like when he popped up on the boat, I thought it was gonna be like a reunion, like yo, what
I
up with
kind of I
it?
kind of saw it to a degree when you can kind of first of all that dude I love him as an actor. I can't remember his name, but I've been following him for a minute, and I don't remember his name. But I kind of felt it coming when he was kind of in, but not in. But I wasn't 100% sure. Let me say that part wasn't what I was talking about. I was talking about the whole scheme of oh, it was a conspiracy, and now I got to go get these people. But that part, the bad part about that part was though, when it came, you didn't really feel anything earth shattering. They literally only gave us 3 minutes of, hey, you were in it the whole time and you fuck. You know what I mean? It wasn't even epic like that. Now, had they did it to a sense where we found out that this dude was behind the strings of literally everything, and now they got to fight to the death, that would have been better for me. Like two old team members scrapping it out, fighting to the death. That'd have been a better ending for me. Instead, Chris Pratt just gets the drop on him, and he's just like, you know what it is, and he still clapped him anyway. That was kind of corny to me.
I think because it was so long, it would have dragged a lot more if for them to have tried to do even more of that. But there
I
was a
get it.
lot. There was a lot. I mean, as I'm watching the episodes, like the I think it was 8 episodes. I think they could have got that all done in six.
6,
So there was some,
especially the way they wrote it.
yeah, there was definitely some drag in it. But I thought it was pretty good. Listen, I think I thought
Chris Pratt is ascending, man.
I was about to say, I thought Chris Pratt did a pretty damn good job. We've seen this guy as a jokester, and we've talked about
Versatile,
like, yeah, we've talked about like Kevin Hart being the jokester, and you can't see him in a
serious
real
role.
role, serious role, and
Hmm.
be like, yo, this is Kevin Hart. Like, with Chris Pratt, he's a joker, and but watching this, he had me. Now, granted, it was dark. It was a lot of dark, and so you didn't really get a lot of his facial, you, you know, expressions and stuff like that clear.
I,
But
I
I thought
felt
he did good.
I felt he was, and the thing about him that they say, he trains hard for these roles. He studies. I liked it. He definitely had me at a point. There was a point I think where I figured out it wasn't going to be a mind bender to where he wasn't losing his mind, because when his homeboy was in the bar, I was like, damn, did this nigga actually drink with this dude or what's going on? So that part of it was a mind bender for me. But even with him in the Tomorrow War, he did phenomenal in the Tomorrow War. I mean, Chris Pratt is ascending, man. He's definitely ascending to the A list.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
definitely getting there.
he getting good. He getting
He getting
good.
good. That boy
He
good.
getting
That boy
good. That
good.
boy good.
That boy good.
Your man DeAndre Ayton was offered a contract by the Pacers. Allegedly, Phoenix has matched it. It's a pretty big contract.
He can stay. He can stay in Phoenix, man. Because I don't want Mitch Robinson to have to shit on him 6 times a year.
I'm just surprised that Phoenix let it get to this point. Like,
I'm surprised. Honestly, the NBA. This is why I don't like the NBA, because it's based off name and recognition versus anything else. Because there's nothing DeAndre Ayton does better than Mitchell Robinson. And Mitchell Robinson, to me, um, better defensive presence, better rebounder. Uh, I mean, I don't know that he's a better scorer,
not
and
a better scorer.
maybe that's the difference.
And
But
it's well, yeah, like you said, it's name recognition and team,
yeah,
and wins, right? So
yeah.
you
But when they
you
face off head to head, Mitchell Robinson was like dominating this dude.
nobody's looking at that. No one looks at that when we're talking what you're talking about. It's unfortunate,
It is
because what people are looking at is they're just looking at you know Phoenix is the number one record in the league in the playoffs. Aiton shows up. He's the guy that showed up pretty damn big in those
Phoenix didn't
series.
show up at all, but okay.
Well, just at the end of that series, but I mean, going into it, Aiton was balling. Um, but yeah, Robinson just the same as I mean, shit. Nobody credits big men. Jokic back to back MVPs.
You love fucking Jokic and Nurkic. You love these guys. Love
I
these
do
guys.
because they monsters. They put up numbers that nobody else is putting up.
Can I just say for the record though, real quickly, just really quickly. All right, just bear with me. Just and I know you agree with me. I just want to make my. I didn't want to throw act like I'm throwing shit against the wall. March 4th, 2022. The Knicks play the Suns and ultimately lose by 1 point. Right. R.J. Barrett has 20. Julius has 25. Mitchell Robinson has 17. 15 boards. Right. Mikael Bridges fucking murders us. Jay Crowder. I don't know. Jay Crowder. I mean, Bridges didn't murder us. DeAndre Ayton has 3 rebounds and 8 points versus Mitchell Robinson. And that's March 2nd, 2022. Just this
Yeah,
year.
but look at season stats.
I know, but I'm just saying, I mean, if I'm the GM just looking like what are we basing this off of?
Season stats.
I mean,
Look
I'm
at
just looking at head to head, I
season
mean, I don't know.
stats, playoff stats.
I don't know.
Um,
I don't
and
know.
that's the norm when you play against good rebounders and good defensive big men. You're probably gonna struggle if you're not that dude. Like if you're not a Jokic, you're not a Nurkic, you're not like these guys are different. Even Vucevic, like Vucevic stretches these guys out. Pause. He's putting up numbers.
Nah, Aiton fills the score box up. That's what it is, because he didn't. I mean, the 3 times in the last 4 games that the Knicks played the Suns without Mitchell Robinson, this dude had 20 plus points. Mitchell Robinson gets inserted in the game, 8 points. So I mean, this is a testament to today's game, because in yesterday's game, DeAndre Ayton isn't even playing for Alonzo Mourning, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, none of these people. He's not even getting in the game. Not even getting in the game. It's not getting in the
Mm,
game. He can't defend, can't rebound. You put him in there with a Mitchell Robinson who has a limited offensive game. He out rebounds you. You score 8 points, and he outscores you. That's not happening in the 90s. But today's game, because he can play a little Euro ball, give you some mid range, stretch the floor a little bit. Oh, now he's $100 million guy. That's the problem with the NBA right now.
mm,
You
I
said it
think
yourself.
I think he's a little more than just a Euro ball, a little Euro ball. And I think also people pay for not just what you've done, but people also pay for
Potential.
potential, and his game. He's got a lot of potential, man. He could be something else with a little development, um, little discipline. I think that's his thing. He's missing discipline. He's immature in a way, in a sense.
I can't say that. We don't know him like that.
I don't mean it immature in his personality. I mean immature in his game.
Hmm.
Meaning, there's times where he should be crashing the boards, and he will. There's times when he does, and he'll go for
When he's not
eight,
challenged by somebody as big as him.
18. But that's the thing, right? He's got size to him, pause, and he should be using it. Like, you big enough to where you don't be
Bogus.
scared. Yeah, don't be scared.
I gotta give you bogus.
Bogus. Um,
Spider Mitchell.
what happened?
I mean, the Knicks and the Jazz have been in talks, and the Knicks front office is not trying to give up R.J. Barrett and draft picks. Like R.J. Barrett is untouchable. I don't know. Like
Have
for
y'all paid
once,
R.J. Barrett yet?
nah, he'll get paid after this season. But the thing is, right? Like the Knicks have finally said to the rest of the NBA, we're not selling on a guy that we believe in. RJ Barrett is a great player. He has potential to be a star. He's a great player. He's a leader. He's what New York loves.
The Knicks want to get rid of Randall,
Yeah, but
and
nobody wants him.
right. So I think he ends up. I think he could end up in. I think he could end up in Charlotte. I think he could end up in Atlanta.
Nah,
Um,
they're not letting him go to the East. They're gonna get rid of him in the West because even though he is what he is, this administration in the Knicks is smart enough to send guys west. Because you don't want to be that guy, and he had that most improved season. You don't want to be that guy that sends him east, and now he's dropping 40 on you to knock you out the playoffs. You don't want to do that. In New York,
they
they'll kill you for that.
they got to stop. These teams got to stop being cheap. They got to, like, if you want a Mitchell, you got to pay. You can't. You got to give to get sometimes. And Houston, I'm sorry, not Houston. Utah just gave up Gobert. I think the Knicks might have had a better chance at getting him without uh Barrett if they had not already traded Gobert. But
Yeah.
you can't move Gobert for pennies, on the dollar, and then move Spider Mitchell for more pennies on the dollar, and they didn't re-sign Conley. Like, that's a bad look for them. That's a bad look.
I think this deal could ultimately get done, but my question then begins to be why did we do the deal with Brunson? Like, why? If you wanted Spider Mitchell, go
Well,
get
that's
Spider
why
Mitchell.
that's why to me I think that's all smoke and mirrors. I don't think he's going to the Knicks. I
Yeah,
think I
yeah,
think
you're right.
um I think he could end up in Miami.
Yeah, that'd be
Um
nasty.
which
But him
which could
him and Jimmy ain't gonna jive though.
mm,
Jimmy likes to be the guy.
he does, but I think Jimmy is mature. He has matured a lot. Think about how he was in Philly versus the way he is now. He's a leader now. And I think, Jimmy's goal probably is to get over that hump. And you're not going to get over that hump. Just,
With
it's just
Kyle
like
Lowry.
Wade, right? Like
Not gonna
Wade,
get over it with Kyle Lowry.
right? Like Wade said it. He came out and said it in the public. Like, this, the team is LeBron's. This is LeBron's team. It
Well,
could have been easy.
D Wade has Shaq though too.
No, I
Let's
don't.
never forget that.
I'm not about the championship.
I'm
I
talking
mean,
about the other times that D Wade that
I,
Pat Riley bought Miami championships.
yeah, exactly. I'm talking
Mm.
about when LeBron and Wade are there, and Wade had to be like, because he could have been strong headed and been like, "Nah, this is my team." And I think that's the same type of thing that Jimmy could do with a young guy. But the problem with Spider Mitchell too, though, is he stay hurt. So
I think he just plays possum because he don't want to be in Utah.
any team he goes to has to keep that in mind and consider that.
I think he just plays possum because he doesn't want to be in Utah. We forget this is where he was drafted, but then again, he did agree to a max deal out there. I don't understand these guys. Like, if you know you don't really want to be there, you can force yourself somewhere else. Don't do the max, especially if you're that caliber player. You're gonna get something somewhere else. But then it also goes to the landscape of the league. If there's somewhere else that you want to go that doesn't need you, you kind of gotta bend the knee a little bit. But yeah, Miami is looking pretty realistic. I think he may not go anywhere because I think they're asking for way too much.
He could stay home. I think a lot of these teams are asking for a lot, and I think that's because of what was it? There was a trade. What was the trade? Oh no, not Brunson. There was another trade. I forget what trade it was that a lot was given
I
up.
know you talking about. I can't think of it. Was it? No, not Brooklyn. I know you talking about. I can't think of it though. Gave it too much.
But it's that's what people are looking at. What are other teams giving up, and what are people paying other people, and it's always going to be that way. And also you got to think about too. And I'm kind of jumping off a little bit when I go back to Aiton. The money is different right now. 100,
Hmm.
133 million, I think, is what it was for him.
Hmm.
While that's a lot of money, it's not like because let's be real. Brunson just got 100, and like he was a backup.
Yeah.
So it's just the teams have more money now. And because the teams have more money and they're making more money, the players, the contracts are bigger. It's just the way it is. And we're in a market right now, I have to assume that inflation is playing a part too in decisions that people are making. Cost of living is higher. You're gonna want to get paid more, just like a frontline, employee. These dudes are, they got lives to live. They got money, to make. So I'm not mad at them for getting 133. I'm not mad at them.
Yeah, I can dig it.
What they haven't started reporting for camp yet, right?
No, camp is this week. For most teams, camp is this weekend in football. Some teams got rookies reporting this weekend and vets reporting next weekend. Like my Jets. But for a lot of other teams, this weekend to the 19th ish. So if they don't start this Saturday, they're starting on the 19th. Um, yeah. So 18th is yeah. So it's this weekend basically. This weekend going into the Monday Tuesday span. Yeah.
Got it.
Yep. We're about we're gonna be 8 Sundays away from opening week this coming Sunday.
Good.
So
Let's go.
preseason is August. I don't like what the Jets are doing. We're gonna have shared practice with the Falcons. I hate that idea. I hate it. It's it's very old school. I understand it, but I hate it because this is a league today where injuries are far worse than they've ever been. Um, Despite all the medicine and science, they're more prevalent, in my opinion. And when you have joint practices, right, you got dudes that aren't on your squad that are they snap in some moments. They snap in some instances. They're trying to earn a spot, and they're gonna do everything they can to do what they gotta do. They're gonna go all out, and somebody gets hurt. Carl Lawson was our big free agent splash last year. Goes through all the training camp. They decide to have these joint practices, and he gets hurt on a bullshit play that does a bullshit rep that doesn't need to happen. Preservation of the bodies, man. You got 17 games. You need to preserve these guys. I get it. I get reps are everything. And in football, reps is everything. Muscle memory is everything. I get it. That's what camp is for. But these dudes do it all the time. That's why they get paid millions of dollars. Preserve these dudes and stop the bullshit.
Yeah, it just looks good. Who's Hard Knocks this year? Is it I can't
Bengals?
remember.
I don't know.
I can't remember. Um Week 1 is going to be must see TV. Carolina plays the
Detroit Lions?
Browns. Is it the
No, it's
Lions?
the Panthers. I mean the Cardinals. I guess.
Arizona?
Yeah. No, no, yeah. 2022, I think is Arizona. Yeah.
Are
Yep.
they the Yeah, Arizona Cardinals 2022.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh no, that's in season. Regular Hard Knocks is going to be Detroit.
Oh, that's even nastier.
That's trash.
That's even nastier.
That's trash. Um Week 1, not Charlotte. Carolina plays the Browns. That's going to be must see TV. Baker up against the old squadron.
Is Deshaun gonna play?
I think that's a rhetorical question, right?
Hmm.
I think if
We don't know.
he's I think if he's not suspended, he'll play.
I don't think the NBA. I mean NBA. I don't think the NFL can suspend him. I know that they virtually have a clause that they can suspend you for like being
Contact
in some shit.
detrimental.
Yeah, just yeah. Even though you're not in trouble, like yeah, we can suspend you because you were almost in trouble. That's basically what the fuck that is. Like, hey, I was
They
accused of doing something, but
yeah,
he really didn't do shit.
conduct that's or misconduct really basically is what they could do. And while he didn't, he did. He did.
He didn't. He didn't.
Listen.
If Robert Kraft did not get suspended, if Jerry Jones did not get suspended,
Yeah, those are owners though.
yeah, the rules still apply.
No, they don't. Those are
Yeah, they
owners.
do.
They can't suspend owners. That's the same thing as just
They
like it's just like like Goodell
What
can't.
happened with the Houston Texans, man?
It's
Houston Texans owner.
it's just like Goodell can't. Yeah, but that's an ethical thing. That's not Goodell can't call and say, "Hey, you're suspended," like to a owner. Just like he can't call a owner and say you have to. That's why he's not in hot water over the black I forget his name, the coach from Miami. Goodell's not in hot water over that. You know, it looks bad, but he ain't in no hot water because he can't force the owners to hire someone. He can't force them to hire them. He could force them to interview him. He can force them to follow the Rooney Rule, but he can't force them to hire. And end of the day, it's their business to run. So but I think at the player level, if you're talking about um, just misconduct and women are saying that they were feeling abused or sexually harassed, and even though he's not being charged for it, but let's say it is confirmed, he could be suspended. I don't know that he will be because I don't think the Browns make all those moves knowing that they're going to have a guy that's going to sit for a year and pay him such a huge contract. So I don't think he sits. I think him sitting all last, I think they're going to do something like a time served. You know what I'm saying? Like when you talk about somebody sitting in jail for 2 years and then they get sentenced to
I
two
don't know that
years.
I don't know that you could say it was a time served because he held out. He didn't. He wasn't punished. He held out.
Last year.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're probably right.
He held out. It wasn't like it wasn't like they said. See what he might have been. Nah, but then again, he wouldn't have forced himself out. He might have been smart. He might have been smart to have played last year, balled out, and then held out.
Well, he still got paid. He good.
Yeah, but I mean, if the allegations missed if the allegations had come around when he was playing, Goodell would have been forced to make a decision then,
Yeah, yeah.
and then that could have ate up this season, and he still could have held out and did whatever he did. Because regardless, I mean, even with all the hoopla around him, some team is gonna want him. So he probably should have played last year.
I think right now, if he ain't suspended yet, I don't think we're gonna see a suspension.
I don't think so neither. I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I don't think so either. Because I don't know that you can. I mean, the legal proceedings happened. Everything outside of just the optics is speculation and hearsay. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
all it takes is for him to lose one class action suit. If he loses one class action suit, they can suspend him.
I don't think they have enough to do that. And I mean, you settling out of this stuff is the NFL respects that. You know what I mean? No harm, no foul. You settled. They do that all the time.
I don't think they will, but they can. I think they can.
Hmm.
I don't think it matters. I mean, listen, we've seen. We already know that the NFL picks and chooses. They do what they do what they want. We saw Zeke get suspended, and there was text messages from the broad basically saying, "Yo, I'm a
I'm gonna
blackmail
ruin your
you.
life.
Yeah, I'm a blackmail you. I'm gonna ruin your life. You're gonna pay me, yada yada yada." And they still suspend the dude. Like, granted, he had other stuff that came up, but the suspension was tied specifically to that behavior. And and then you had people that have similar or worse cases, and they don't get the suspension. So the league gonna do what the league want to do. That's what power does for you. Let you
Hmm.
make those decisions. Make you run your show. Um,
Yeah,
what
indeed.
else, man? What else?
Hmm. You know what? This is off the beaten path. Nothing new and recent. But I recently started listening to the book that you're just yawning on camera all crazy. That was that tequila getting to you, brother?
Mm-hmm. No, that's the waking up at fucking 6 in the morning getting to me.
You have a 4-year-old, that's why. Well, I was up there early too, but um I recently listened to Prodigy of Mob Deep's book, and I see why a lot of people were pissed with him when it dropped. See why his mural was defaced a few times. Because man, he was saying a lot of wild shit that I think honestly probably had a lot of truth, but probably should never hit the internet. And I'm pretty sure people talked about this countless times. But I mean, he talked about how Nori shot his mans by accident. How Nori got jumped by accident. I mean, not by accident, but got jumped. You know, he talked about Hav a little bit, how Hav kind of hated on him a little bit. You know, he talked about a lot of shit. He was very raw. But
Well,
it's a
that's
great listen though. Like
that's the
I'm listening to the
norm.
audiobook.
Havoc hating on him. That's the norm. Dark skinned dude hating on the light skinned dude.
He's brown skin. But yeah, I mean Prodigy,
Lighter.
yeah, Prodigy is a crazy story, man. Like just his hearing his story and hearing how he narrates it is just, I'm doing an audiobook like I said. It's super captivating. It's super interesting to hear the different encounters and how raw he is and just how real he was. You know what I'm saying? He was definitely a troubled dude, you know what I mean? Battling sickle cell and just out here doing drugs and drinking and shows, it's definitely one of those timeless things. So that was
I
a
like
new thing for me.
I like hearing them old stories like that, like of dudes from the industry and shit. Like
Yeah.
when dudes go on like Nori's podcast
Drink
and
champs.
Drink Champs, and you hear them tell the stories of, bumping into XYZ and this happening and that happening, and like I like that, and so it might be a good read for me or a good listen at least. I'll
It,
probably audiobook it.
I'm telling you, I just did it. Audible, shout out to Audible. Send the check.
I do love
Uh,
Audible.
yeah, man, yo, it's a good listen. He narrates it beautifully. And it's just, yeah, I've been captivated by it. It's, and I failed to kind of remember just being in the moment. Like I loved Mob Deep, but it was so much that popular opinion can sway you and you thinking about. Um, I just I wasn't a stan of theirs, but when I look at what they were doing and what they accomplished, I see how many people were. And it's an interesting read. So I highly recommend it. I know we're late to the party, but I highly recommend it.
I like Mine Deep, man. I always did. I always like Prodigy. Even after he beefed with Hove and Hove put him on the Summer Jam screen in the tutu, like still I still fuck with Prodigy. Like he was always and the thing about Prodigy is, you know, when you heard P on the track, like there was a great chance that it was gonna be fly shit if he was, if he was a feature. Um, in addition to the albums, the Mob Deep albums, the HNIC album, Infamous, Hell on Earth, like these they had it. They had it.
Hmm. Hmm.
People forget. People forget, and people don't know. It's unfortunate some of these kids don't know. Um, Mob Deep had it.
Hmm.
Prodigy had it. So
Hmm.
when you talk about groups, they deserve to be in that conversation.
Absolutely.
They definitely deserve to be in that conversation. Um,
Absolutely. And when you just hear how beloved he was, the run-ins that he had, the influence, and then you just put yourself and it takes me back. It gave me that nostalgia to go back and then just to understand how he lived, right? Like I always kind of felt I resonated with him, although he did things the opposite way for me, right? Like he was from Long Island and Hempstead, where I eventually, you know, moved to and neighbored to, and then he spent his time in Queens, where it was the opposite for me, going out there. But just understanding and people really understanding this is a prime example of just how interconnected the New York City metro area is and how you gotta know somebody, you're gonna know somebody, you're gonna be everywhere. You're literally gonna be everywhere. You're gonna come across whoever. And like he said, those times was those gladiator schools. I remember dudes his age and watching the brawls and the fights and the cuts and the stabbings, and then being involved in those things, a little bit to myself. It's just nostalgic to just, go back to those days and that moment in time from his eyes. It's just crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I need to listen to it just so I can, I can get some pieces of it. But I love hearing those stories of, because them, and I also like hearing like the basketball stories. Like a lot of them old school basketball heads, the Ron Artest, the Lamar Odoms, the people from that era. They knew each other from, college ball, travel ball, high school ball. More so high school than college, but being around the way, you know, cats
Hmm.
in New York, cats that are on the that played, on teams,
Circuit. Yep.
at the different circuits, and yeah, so
I like everybody has Up and Smoke as a favorite basketball podcast. I like Knuckleheads more with Q Richardson, Darius Miles, because they get some pretty good guests and they get right into it. Like the first question Darius Miles asks every guest is like, when you was in the league, who bust your ass first? You know what I'm saying? And that question alone kind of gets you to get respect for people that you may not even think of that need respect, but this person that you highly respect is telling you, "Oh yeah, now this person bust my ass."
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that shit
Charlie
is pretty dope.
Villanueva,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Christian
Like they,
Leitner, like
yeah, like for them to have like Allen, like they had an Allen Houston on. Like you don't see many podcasts clamoring for Allen Houston, but you forget when you go back and you look at this dude Allen Houston's career, he was a fucking beast at Tennessee. He was a beast. And then he
yeah,
comes into the league.
if he could stay healthy, that would have been a great. He would have had just like Grant Hill, Allen Houston, Grant Hill, Brandon Roy,
Yeah,
like
I mean
those
Allen
are
played a
three.
little longer, but
He did, but
yeah, he
he
was nagging injuries.
even at
Yeah,
the tail end, yeah, the tail end when he was still good while hurt, or coming off injuries. Like if he had stayed healthy
but
or never,
I think he said something like he played like a lot of seasons without missing a game. But I just think that because his game was what it was. But when you talk to people that came on the podcast before he got to that episode, so many guys that they interviewed that you love and know, right, are like, yo, who was that one guy bust your ass? They're like H2O. And he had that nickname. That's a hard nickname. I didn't even know as a Knicks fan. I don't remember him being that his nickname. H2O. Like, I don't remember that. I had Allen Houston jersey, the whole set, but shit like that. And then you got guys like they talked to, I forget who it was. It's a point guard. And dudes was like, yo, Andre Miller was one of them. They was like, yo, who was one of the first
the
guys to
tight
bust your
afro.
ass? Yeah. And just hearing his story, they was like, who's one of the first guys to bust your ass? It was like Stephon Marbury. It was a couple dudes that was like, yo, Stephon Marbury, Stephon Marbury. And then when you just we look at the career from the outside, and we like, damn, Marbury was, you know, he didn't live out to his full potential. Woo, woo, woo. But then when you talk to the guys in the league and they just like, yo, this dude dominated. It's just like just gives you a different level of respect from what we saw versus than what it actually is.
It's some dudes like that people I think just forget how great they were. Steve Francis won.
Oh, franchise, yep.
Stevie Franchise and Marbury are two in a similar light to where I think both of them are underappreciated.
Hmm.
And there was a point when both of them were different, and Darius Miles too. Like let's not forget the time that Darius Miles spent on Portland when he
High
was
school,
actually
high school kid,
busting ass.
high school guy.
Yeah, so there's some definitely some dudes out there when you start to think back to some ballers, some underappreciated guys. that just don't get they don't get you know the recognition. Like Steve
Hmm.
Francis in Houston, like
He was a
different,
killer. He was a
different.
killer. I mean, you go down the list of the guests. They, just in the span, Vince Carter, 2 episodes, Jason Terry, Jermaine O'Neal. I mean, just hearing his story. Lou Williams. You got Teresa Witherspoon as a female baller. And her trailblazing days. You know what I mean? Teresa Witherspoon, Sue Bird. I mean, again, I love their podcast. I love what they do. Um, Shout out to the Knucklehead podcast, Q Richardson, Darius Miles. Shout out to them. Shout out to them.
Yep, yep. Um, yeah, man. Football season. What you got going on this weekend? Anything?
Uh Gonna get my brakes changed and
Get
gonna
your
watch Thor.
get your get your little a little lube job going. Hmm?
Why do you
Hmm?
do this?
Hmm?
Why do you do this? Why do you do
Get
this?
get the old dipstick going on the lube. Hmm? Hmm? Hmm?
There's something wrong with you, man. You sick. You're a sick person.
Uh,
Thor is on the agenda. I'm more excited for the popcorn versus Thor.
yeah,
Be honest with you.
movies.
Yeah, the
Like
whole
that's I
atmosphere.
just love. Yeah, I just love the movies for that. I
Hmm.
love.
And after pandemic, you gotta appreciate it even more.
Yeah, I be over oiling my popcorn because that shit ain't butter.
Whoa. But it's yeah. And we go to this theater up here that has the movies pretty cheap. And it just seems like black people all come to this theater at the same time.
Shocker.
Um, so either we're gonna go pretty early or we're gonna go to the more expensive theater because I can't deal with the Negroes, honestly, because we went and watched the Jurassic Park joint,
Hmm.
and there's two women sitting behind us, right? Two black women,
They
probably.
pulled out a steak and cheese.
Nah, two black women, probably in their 40s, sitting behind us. And one of them is like, she's got real bad anxiety. Bless her heart. She's tapping on the scenes like, don't go in there. Don't go in there.
Oh yeah, nah,
You know what I'm
she fucking
saying?
with you.
And it's like, yo. And the kids, like, I'm tapping my oldest because I'm like, I always teach them because in Baltimore, people got a staring problem. People got a staring problem. Like, we from up north, you're not staring at somebody unless you got an agenda for them, right? I try to tell my kids, like, don't stare, don't look. But then this lady starts to increasingly do this thing worse, and we just like, yo. So it was just like, yo, and the theater was just kind of packed. You had people trying to, squeeze into places they didn't really need to be trying to go to. So, but I've noticed that theater only really gets packed like later in the day. So I see the
Man,
earliest
stay
show they
out the
got
hood.
tomorrow is like 11:30.
Stay out the hood. Go to a
No,
nice
no, no, it's
theater.
not the hood. It's not the hood at all. It's just, it's not the hood at all. It's a cheap theater, and I don't know if it's black going. I don't know what's going on there. But it's a cheap theater. It's a nice theater, and it's actually, very cheap. But it just seems that the black people all show up around that 7:45 show, and it gets super packed. So
Of
I think
course, it's date night.
yeah.
It's
Well, no,
because
it's all families.
you
It's
you
all
go to
families.
you go to the movies and you get out at that time. You go to the movies, you get out right at time to drop the kids off at Big Mama house and go to the club.
Nah,
Like that.
it's yeah, that part too, but it's all families. So I don't I doubt it that we're gonna go at the 11:30 show. And they only have 11:30 at that theater, and the next is 2:15. We could possibly make the 2:15. Anything later than that, we gonna run into the peanut gallery. So at that point, I'd rather just go to the major AMC and get my AMC feel. I haven't been to an AMC in a couple shows, so I
True.
might do that.
AMC popcorn sometimes be popping.
It's AMC popcorn's phenomenal. I used to work for AMC.
I'm a Regal guy,
Oh
but
no, did I work for Lowe's? Was it Lowe's?
I fuck with Regal, but
But what was there
AMC.
a Lowe's movie theater at one point?
Yeah, there's Lowe's.
Lowe's
I
is
didn't work.
AMC, ain't it?
I never worked at movie theaters. My
Yeah,
sister did.
Lowe's is AMC, man. Jesus.
My sister worked at Showcase, which was I think now Regal,
Yeah.
and we used to I used to get snuck in there. She worked tickets, and
Matter
then
of fact, nigga, we used to get snuck in there.
her roommate worked concessions. Maria.
We used to get snuck in there. You forget? I went to a couple of them times.
Oh,
We had to
Maria.
move pretty fastly.
Maria had a donkey on her, yo.
Hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah, but Lowe's is AMC. So shout out to Lowe's. That was actually my second job, I think, in life. Lowe's, AMC, and that working for the movie theater was popping because you never did the same thing every day. You might be a greeter. You might work the front ticket joint. You might work concession. You might just clean up the theaters afterwards, which I thought was the best floating job because, you get to stand there waiting for the film to finish. You see the
Catch the
ending like
end of it.
6,000 times. You know what I mean? Clean the theater up. And, I used to sneak the whole hood in there. I used to sneak my whole hood in there. So yeah, man, that was actually a phenomenal job. That was actually a phenomenal job. So I may do the AMC thing. It all depends because I got older kids, man. My kids, they're gonna get up tomorrow when they feel like it. So
Lucky you.
right.
I will be. I think we're gonna do a putt putt tomorrow. I think I'm gonna do putt putt. Either that or I was gonna say that or the beach, but looking at the rain potential. Let me see. We looking like
Gonna do the old miniature golf.
yeah. We looking yeah. It's supposed to rain till about supposed to rain all day tomorrow. So maybe Sunday I could do. I don't mind doing miniature golf in the rain. I just ain't doing the beach in the rain.
I feel like we missing something out there, man. There ain't nothing we missing out here.
If we missing it, we just gonna have to circle back to it because
You faded.
we about to hit. We about to hit. We about to hit the 2 hour John.
You faded. You faded over there.
We talked about Ricky Martin. uh, Trump's wife, ex-wife,
Ooh,
first wife. She died.
passed away. Passed
Uh,
away. And he sent out an ad. That nigga's cold.
Brittany,
He's cold blooded.
Brittany Griner.
Yeah.
Her lawyers asked for an extension. They gonna get her back. They gonna get her back. They gonna have to do
Ugh.
it behind closed doors though. They can't do it out in the open because they do it out in the open, then Americans become a target, and that's what I don't think. I think Americans are just so fucking dumb. We don't understand that if we put up this big ass fight for an American, and then you try to go travel to fucking Tulum and they kidnap your ass, it's gonna be because they just saw how these motherfuckers is willing to trade people. You know what I'm saying? So they got to do it behind closed doors. It got to be quiet, and just so that other nations don't see it and be like, "Yo, when if we catch an American over here, let's snatch him up." You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And that's my theory. It's my theory. And I think it makes more sense than them just saying, "Well, if it was LeBron James, if it was LeBron James, they would absolutely let him out."
Yeah, well, we knew that. We said that, the State Department telling people at some point to kind of chill out and not make a big stink about it. We knew that that was the right play, but they people couldn't hold water. And unfortunately, I mean, Putin's over there, licking his chops at this point. And that whole
Putin,
LeBron James things is just,
Putin gonna poop.
yeah. I mean, that whole LeBron James notion is kind of crazy. And people like, oh well, he wouldn't even have to play over there in Russia. I mean, yeah, neither did she. You know, these other clubs she could have went to, Spain, other places. And I get it. You know, WNBA doesn't make as much money, but we also forget that the WNBA is a much younger league. You know what I'm
Yo,
saying? When the NBA was 25 years old,
listen,
you know what I'm
I don't
saying?
give a fuck
But
about
no,
that shit.
when the NBA was
Like,
25 years old, they wasn't making that much money either.
no, I know, but I also don't give a fuck about that. They
About
don't
what?
fill the seats neither. They don't fill the seats. There's no demand. Like if
Women don't
you
even watch WNBA basketball.
they could probably fill the arenas, but they're filling the arenas at $8 a ticket. You know what I'm saying? Like you expect them to get paid? You think people gonna pay them? Just out of their pocket
Yeah, just cause.
versus
Oh,
versus off a profit? Like no, they gonna pay these people based on profit, based on demand, based on what they can do.
they
Like
need to go look and see whatever they doing in college basketball that fills the seats and
yeah,
apply
they
it.
yeah they just they wild, man. They wild. My girl Tarasi, she a G. A1, probably the goat, mini goat.
You got Cynthia Cooper, Becca Lobo.
Yeah,
I don't even know Tarasi's the best UConn
yo, you gotta
Husky.
relax. You
Better
gotta
than Maya
relax.
Moore?
You gotta
Better
relax.
than Maya Moore?
Yes,
No.
yes. Much
Better
more
than Rebecca
accomplished.
Lobo? No. Maya
Yes,
Moore? No.
yes.
No.
You crazy.
No. No. No.
Far better.
No.
Far
No.
better.
No. No.
Career
Absolutely not.
stats. Career
No.
stats.
Maya Moore leads
Championships.
everything.
Chips, baby.
Maya Moore leads everything, bro. She's her record in 4 years is 150 to 4. Four Final Four appearances.
That's in college.
She's
I'm
the
talking about
fourth leading.
WNBA. I'm
I
talking about
said
in the
Husky.
WNBA.
Fool, I asked you about Huskies.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in the WNBA.
Oh,
I'm talking.
listen, Diana Taurasi is my goat, regardless,
Yeah, she
for reasons
WNBA goat.
outside of basketball. Just because, I mean,
She
I know she may not be, I may not be her type, but she's my type.
the little thick Greek looking
I
thing
don't know
with
that
that
she's
no
thick, but
that
she's not
nose.
Italian.
Maybe I'm just kidding.
You
Um,
just saying anything. Yeah, Maya Moore is obvious. Is
Rebecca Lobo had a glow up too, yo. I remember when for the Olympics,
she's
Rebecca
also
Lobo
7 feet.
was that's so. That don't mean nothing. Listen,
Maya Moore is the most established, most accomplished you lady husky of all time. It's a fact.
yeah, that's of course, no doubt,
All
no
right,
doubt.
that's all I
But
wanted
that's
you to know.
yeah, but that. I mean, that's
That's
like
all I wanted you to know, my boy.
from a
That's it.
college standpoint. I'm talking about from a WNBA standpoint.
Well, Cheryl Swoops is the goat of WNBA
Listen, stop your
all time.
shit.
I'm
Diana
telling you.
Taurasi is the Mamba,
No, no, no.
end the story.
No, Cheryl
Um,
Swoops. Cheryl Swoops
yeah,
is the
I know,
goat of WNBA.
yeah, I know.
Now, again, I love Diana Taurasi. I love her.
You know who Cheryl Swoops is? You know when you compare Cheryl
Come
Swoops
on,
and
all right,
Taurasi.
all right, all right, all right. You're going down a rabbit hole I can't pull you out of because you're about to say some bullshit.
Nah, no. What I'm saying is when you compare Cheryl Swoops and Tarazi, it's similar to comparing like
Stop, stop. You don't even have this thought fully developed. You
no, it's
don't.
100%. It's 100%. Shut up and listen. It's when you compare those two, it's like comparing Kareem and Kobe. And what I mean is the difference in time when they played, and it. Cheryl Swoops is a pioneer. Kareem is a pioneer. Same shit I said before. Those guys I don't put in those conversations about goatness because they are pioneers of the game. Pioneers. Like
Anyway, um,
what's homeboy
one of my favorite pictures of Cheryl Swoops is when she pulls up on Jordan after the '96 uh finals wearing his jersey and hugs him. He got the cigar. That shit is hard, man. Cheryl Swoops is one of my favorite WNBA players and female basketball players of all time.
You just like
Uh,
Shell Soups because she looks like your family or my family actually. Shell,
I don't know that part, but
Shell
I just
Soups
like her
looks
because
like
she's a baller.
Shell Soups looks like yeah, she was a baller. She was a baller. Um,
Sick with it, man.
yeah,
Sick with it. I need to
she's
know
definitely
Diana
a baller.
Taurasi's nationality. No, now
She's Italian, nigga. Tarasi.
you said she was Greek. Jerk off.
No, I said she had the Greek frame, short,
Okay,
big thighs.
she's actually not short. She's actually 6 feet.
Well, she's she's not short for a woman, but she's short for a
Nigga, she
basketball
ain't
player.
short. Period. The fuck you mean? She's fucking tall as shit.
She's short for a basketball player, nigga.
And her wife is Penny Taylor. Okay, 6'1". Yeah, he's some tall motherfuckers, yo.
You about to start cross dressing so you could get with Diane?
Nah, nigga, clearly I'm not tall enough. She's
You don't
six
gotta be
feet.
tall. You don't gotta be
She's
tall.
6 feet, and her wife's
How
6'1".
how old is Tarasi? 41?
40.
42?
Nah, she's 40.
She 40.
Her
So
wife's 41.
she got about 5 years before she interests you.
No, well, she's interested me for years now.
Actually, they look older. So yeah. Um.
Wow,
All right.
wow.
Let me do
No, just
the.
keep getting toxic with it. I'm
Let
enjoying
me,
it.
let me,
The drinks are flowing now. Skylar Diggins, though, she's the one
they said they about to trade her. She be beefing. She be beefing with her
beefing with
team.
Tarasi, man.
Yeah, she be beefing with Tarasi and the team.
Skylar Diggins married now. I can't fuck her.
Yeah.
Where's Angel McCoughtry at? She's from Baltimore. I need to see where she's at right now. Damn,
Ever
she's six foot
since
one.
ever since Diggins had a baby, she yeah, the stress, man. I think she
Damn,
got postpartum.
Angel McCoughtry is 6'1", and I didn't realize she's the same age as me. I
All
need to
right.
find her.
Now you're just looking at bullshit. So let me
You
say
don't know
shout
my
out
you don't know
to
my life.
let me say let me say shout out to VP. He couldn't be here because TJ
Did he
is
watch it all tonight?
probably not. He couldn't be here
Fucking
because his son has a bowling tournament in Michigan, and so good luck to TJ on the tournament.
absolutely,
Um,
absolutely. And we
next,
thanks to us, we were able to have some Democrat bashing without VP's input.
that's true. That's true.
It always
Uh,
feels good to do that.
no doubt. We but we back to it next week, next Sunday. Early status, but what I will say is be very mindful. COVID cases are on the rise. They've been on the rise for the last few weeks. Monkeypox is on the rise. I know it. People are making jokes about the shit, but the shit is on the rise. I'm not saying go get vaccinated or anything like that. I'm just saying be mindful and go to the doctor early and often, if you need to, and
But
keep
that's
other
hard to
people
do these days.
keep
Motherfuckers
keep
gonna see you from the computer.
keep they will see you from the computer. Keep other people from being uh,
Exposed.
exposed to your bullshit. Cover your mouth. Wash your hands. Um,
Wash your
you know,
ass.
wash your ass. Check on your people. Call your family. Call your moms. Call your pops because you never know, man. Listen, I'll tell you a quick story. One of the dudes that used to work for me called me yesterday, and he was like, hey, Mr. Blackman, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'm
Can I just question quickly? How old is this guy?
older than me, but I was his boss. You know what I'm saying? Respect.
I've been
Um,
there. I've been there.
I ain't ask him to call me that, but listen. Anyway,
Call me Steve.
he he's like, hey, how you doing, man? And I'm like, I'm good. And he says, well, I just wanted to give you a call and kind of touch base with you and let you know, um, you know, it's been a rough couple of weeks for me. You know, woke up in the middle of the night one night when I stood up, automatically fell, went to the bathroom, started vomiting. Turned out he had a brain tumor, and it was benign. It was benign,
Jesus.
But yeah, I mean, out of nowhere, and they said that it was about the size of a fist, and the reason why it was impacting him was because it was trying to continue to grow and it couldn't grow anymore. It was pushing up against once it was pushing up against his skull and his brain. I'm sorry, his skull and his skin or whatever the fuck, or his brain. Anyway, he says he had to go through surgery. He's gonna not have his they went up to his nostril. He's not gonna have his taste or smell for 90 days. End the story. I mean, it was a pretty long story he told me, but end of the day, what I'm saying is you just never fucking know. Tomorrow's not promised. You never know if you're gonna wake up ill. You never know if you're gonna wake up sick. Man's could have woken up and they could have went into surgery, taken it away, and he could have lost his memory, could have lost his vision. It could have been a lot that went on with it. So, just know, check on your people, check on your family.
I think I think if anybody knows that best is VP.
VP knows it,
I think
absolutely.
he knows that best, going from an asshole Marine, able to physically do everything he wants to do, to now being a disabled asshole Marine who just torments us because he's an asshole. But no, I
Hmm.
mean, yeah, I think he would know for sure how important that is. And, yeah.
It's a scare, man. Sometimes the shit you can't see. I'd rather deal with like the back pain, nigga, because at least you know something's there. But that shit growing there for years, you never know, man. Just take care of yourselves, man. Go to the doctor, go get checked. Check on your family. Be safe. Wash your hands. Wash your face. Wash your ass. Kiss the
S-
babies.
Subscribe to regular porn.
Live life. Understand that that company, they're gonna replace you. So
Subscribe to regular porn.
I mean,
I'm
what's
just saying.
regular? What's regular nowadays?
Well, I meant regular. What I mean is like regular watching of it. But
Oh,
one thing too. And I wanted to say this, man. And I got some time. Two things. One, sex is not for men. We have been lied to as a society. I don't know if it's because of white society, but sex is not for men. The older you get as a man, you realize that, hey, this person may have higher sex drive than me, but within the span of 30 minutes to an hour, they're going to enjoy sex more than I do. Am I lying? No.
I think it depends. I
Okay,
don't know. I
my
enjoy it.
logic is that physically,
Oh
physically
yes,
speaking,
you're right. You're
a
absolutely
woman
right.
can get off about 2 to 3.
No, no, that's not even what I thought you were gonna say. I was thinking about the physical wear and tear on, you know,
No, I'm
a
saying
woman a woman can get away with just rocking out while we got our knees getting fucked
no,
up,
no, no,
our
no.
back getting
Aside
fucked
from
up.
that, that's true too. But I'm saying they can at least get off 2 to 3 in under 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah,
We're usually one and done.
they can fake it.
We That's their problem. My point is, we're usually one and done, right? And I think women have been hiding in societal propaganda that they are the actual mongers. But the other thing I wanted to say was restaurants need to stop having these unisex bathrooms. You're fucking up the ecosystem, man. When women had lines outside the bathroom doors, now you're only gonna get it worse. Because when guys like us gotta take a quick shit, y'all gonna be fucked. Y'all don't want to come in in the bathroom after me on Taco Tuesday. I'm just saying. I
I
think we
don't
should
go in.
go.
I don't go anywhere that has unisex bathrooms.
Well, a lot of places have them now,
I've never been.
and it just ruins the beauty of being able to just go take a piss, watch their line, still be stacked, and
That's
then
that's the that's the result of a progressive society, sir.
yeah, some things don't need to change.
Right? I agree. I agree. There's no. I feel bad for women with those kind of with unisex bathrooms because I'd be pissing all over the seat. Poor thing, poor little thing got to go in
Why are
after
you
me. And
doing that? Why are you doing that? It's dudes like you at the baseball game that make it tough to have a seventh inning shit.
yeah, listen, man.
What is your problem?
Listen,
What's wrong with you, yo?
poor.
And you just do it happily. You don't even clean up after.
Fucking clean up a public restroom. You crazy nigga.
All right, that's why you ask when
You'd
you
be
gotta
lucky
take
if
a
I
shit at that
flush.
bowling
Sometimes I
alley.
don't even flush. Sometimes I'd be like, let me leave this here for the next person to get to see this monstrosity.
That's nasty, man. This is why we can't have nice things.
You brought it up, man. These uniforms. Listen, all I'm saying is I feel bad for little mama. Little mama gonna walk up in there after
Well, I feel bad for
toilet.
me with people like you.
Toilet.
You the type dude we got to bust open four stalls. Poof, not that one. Poof, not that one. Poof, okay, I can clean up this one. You know what I mean? Like, what's your problem, man?
Nah, I try to stick to the handicap stalls, man. I need to spread my.
That
I
is
need.
comfy. That is comfy. I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
I'm sorry, VP. You be waiting on my ass.
you
Fuck that.
definitely gonna be waiting. Shit.
Them little ass regular stalls, your knee be all up on the fucking toilet paper shit.
We talking
You
about
can't even
equal rights.
flex.
We talking about equal rights. They all need to be big, yo.
Yeah.
Make all stalls equal. Make all stalls equal. Make all parking spots equal.
Meet me at the Bogota, yo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, man.
Take
Yo,
your ass to sleep, man. God damn, we'll
listen.
be on this shit for 2 hours.
Yeah, Castworthy Podcast, man. Listen to us. Instagram, Castworthy underscore podcast, Facebook, Twitter, Spreaker, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Just
Cool.
Castworthy. Look for us, man. Like us, dislike us, drop us a note,
It's like
drop us a
us.
comment. Make your way to our page. Drop a topic. Join the topic. Shit, we'll send you an invite.
I'm gonna get somebody on here one of these weeks, man.
If you want to argue, with VP. If you're a Republican, you want to argue with him. Come on up here.
Nah, that's a waste.
YBR, Young
That's a
Black
waste.
Republican.
That's a waste.
Yep.
VP's a staunch Democrat. He gonna die on Hamburger Hill on that.
It's all right. Until next week, we love you. We appreciate you. We out.